All right, it looks like we are live. Happy Saturday to anybody who is joining us right away. It's a beautiful day out here in Humboldt Redwoods State Park. A little rainy, but absolutely beautiful. Well, hello. Thank you so much for joining me. My name is Kyle, and I'm a park interpretive specialist with California State Parks. And as I just mentioned, today I'm out at Humboldt Redwoods State Park. And what I wanted to just talk to you really quick, very shortly, just a few moments, about how when a redwood tree falls, how it actually brings life to a forest. So we like to play on that thing you hear all the time when a tree falls in a forest. Does it really make a noise? Well, when a redwood tree falls in a forest, it does make a whole lot of noise, but it also brings life to the forest. So I'm going to go ahead and flip my camera around here so you can see what I'm looking at. So we've got this really massive old growth redwood tree that has fallen right here in this park. I'm right near Mather's Grove in Humboldt Redwoods State Park, just off the Avenue of the Giants. So when a redwood tree falls in a forest like this, we call it a nurse log because of how it supports so much life even after it's fallen down and died. So one of the reasons for this is that redwood trees sequester carbon, meaning they store carbon inside of their, in their wood as they grow. They use carbon out of the atmosphere to build a large portion of what makes them so big. As they put on this wood, they're taking carbon in out of the atmosphere, and they hold onto that carbon throughout their lifetime. Once they fall and they start to decompose, they're able to pass those nutrients on to any of the plants that start to grow out of them. So all of the nutrients that have been absorbed through the whole lifetime of this absolutely massive tree, possibly thousands of years old, all of those nutrients are being recycled and going into these new plants that are growing up on top. So just from a brief look at what we have growing up here on top, we've got a couple little huckleberry bushes. That's that kind of leafy looking things up here on the top. We've also got a sword fern, very commonly found here in the redwood forest. It looks like a lady fern growing next to that. I don't have my glasses on, so I can't quite see. And then dangling down here on the side, it looks like we have the starting of some blackberry that's got this big vine going down here on the side. So I'm going to take a short little walk around this tree so you guys can see some of the life that's growing up on top of it. And we're also going to get a really good look at its root wad here as we come around the bottom side of this tree. So when one of these redwood trees falls, their roots don't go very deep. They're only about 5 feet underground, but they go out very far. And so a lot of the times when a redwood tree falls, the length of their roots will kind of get ripped off, but what'll be left is this big kind of almost crater where the tree was growing into the ground. Pretty incredible. So not sure if that looks as massive to you as it looks to me, but that's probably about 12 feet tall, the base of this redwood, maybe even larger than that. So this is a nurse log where people can't really get up on top of it, right? So you can see we've got some healthy vegetation growing up there on top. But what happens a lot in these redwood forests is that when these trees fall, they look like they make really, really fun hiking paths. And I do have to say that I've been guilty of this myself before I knew about how important these trees were in supporting these ecosystems. So if you look right here, it looks like we have kind of an unofficial trail, a social trail, if you will, where people were starting to hike up this hill. And you'll notice that they cut right through the brush on the top of this other fallen tree that could be serving as a nurse log. But you'll see that where people have been climbing over, there's almost no vegetation growing compared to the rest of the tree where it does have some vegetation growing. So pretty incredible stuff, right? This is one of the ways that I fell in love with the redwood forest, unfortunately, was climbing on top of these trees. As fun as it is, and as cool as it is to be able to get that perspective, these trees are able to provide such an important service to this ecosystem, even after they're fallen, that allows for things to grow on top of them. And so it's really important that we don't disturb those ecosystems, because beyond the things that are growing there, there's also animals who use that as habitat. And as these trees decay, animals are also using that as habitat as well. So this is another reason that, if you have property, if you have a yard where you have some trees or timber, and things fall, in the wintertime, sometimes they'll drop branches or trees might fall over, that if you are able to, it's really good to let those things naturally decompose in your yard, because they're going to feed those nutrients onto anything else that's growing there and also provide habitat for animals. All right, well, I wanted to keep it short and sweet today, so I'll give you one last little look at the beautiful redwood forest, scroll through real quick and check that we don't have any questions. But I just wanted to give you guys a short little taste of how cool nurse logs are, how cool redwood trees are, and how absolutely beautiful of a day we're having here in Humboldt Redwoods State Park. So thank you guys all so much for joining me. Just going to scroll through here and see if we have any questions. I see a hello, Kyle. Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate you all being here. Somebody said, did anyone hear it fall? There are a couple of stories about hearing redwoods fall. One of my favorite is, I don't remember who the story came from, but one of the larger redwoods at Humboldt Redwoods fell down, and a person thought that there was a car crash like right out front of their house. It was so loud, it shook their house. And so they opened the door, they ran outside to see what had happened, and obviously there was nothing out front, and it wasn't until later that they found out that the sound that they had heard and what, made them run outside and look for a car accident was actually a redwood falling, pretty far away from where they lived. So pretty incredible. When these trees fall, they definitely make a sound, and you don't even necessarily need to be anywhere close to them to see that. Martin, I see you commenting, how come you're at Humboldt Redwoods today? I was finishing our interpretive master plan surveys. We're going out and surveying the interpretive products in our park. So today I went as far south as Benbow and did some surveying of our interpretive products in those parks. And then as I was making my way up, I realized I forgot to join you guys live and chat. So I thought I would do that and check in, and I just happened to be passing through Humboldt Redwoods. So I'm always happy to get to connect with people from here because it is such a beautiful and spectacular park. So I saw another question, do termites like redwood trees? It's a great question. So redwood trees are naturally insect repellent. They have what's called tannic acid in their bark, and this kind of repels a lot of insects that would do damage. So termites, I know, will not mess with redwood trees while they are still living. As they start to decay and those tannic acids start to leave the tree, I'm not sure that termites would continue to stay away. So it's a really good question, and I will see if I can find a little bit more information for you on that. But all right, that's going to be it for me today. Thank you guys all so much again for joining me. Stay tuned. We may not be as live as frequently over these next 2 weeks. A lot of our staff is taking some time off for the holidays, but we will continue to bring you some content we'll be posting on our page, and we'll be keeping things happening so you guys have some things to look at and enjoy these beautiful parks. So thank you guys all so much again for joining me. Happy holidays, and hopefully we'll be talking to you all again very soon. See you next time.